Health experts in the country have warned that the novel coronavirus has spread to community level. According to the experts, urban areas like Kathmandu, Birganj, Biratnagar, among others, might turn into the coronavirus hotbed in the country with the dense population. The countrymen at this juncture are therefore well advised to take maximum precautionary measures in our fight against COVID-19. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the headlines of the hour. The COVID-19 death tally in the country climbs to 56 with 4 deaths reported in the past 24 hours. Over 10,000 tests conducted. Additional 18 police personnel at the police headquarters test positive for COVID-19. 105 individuals, including 2 doctors, test positive in Birganj. Further easing of lockdown restrictions in England due to be effective this weekend, postponed for at least 2 weeks after an increase in coronavirus cases. And Paris Saint-Germain seals 4th domestic treble in 6 years, defeating Lyon on penalties in the French League Cup final. Patan Hospital in the capital's Lalitpur reported 1 more death related to coronavirus. The director of the hospital, Bishnu Sharma, informed of the death of a 65-year-old man who was being treated at the intensive care unit yesterday. The man was admitted at the hospital on 21st of July due to high blood pressure and pneumonia. With 3 more deaths related to coronavirus in Birganj in the past 24 hours, the death toll in the country has reached 56. The number of coronavirus infections in the country has reached 19,835 with 64 new confirmed cases in Narayani Hospital in Birganj Parsa this morning. 41 individuals, including doctors, tested positive for coronavirus in Birganj yesterday. The country had registered 224 new cases yesterday. The capital witnessed more than 150 cases in the past 4 days alone. 25 new cases were detected in Bajhang, while 18 in Kanchanpur, 16 in Darchula and 15 each in Morang and Kailali were reported. Likewise, a member of the House of Representatives, Pradeep Yadav, his bodyguard and driver too have tested positive for coronavirus. Yadav informed of his test results through his social media account this morning. Yadav has confirmed that his health conditions are normal and has gone under self-isolation. 151 individuals registered full recovery and have been discharged from various hospitals and isolation centers. 10,768 PCR tests were carried out yesterday. The Kathmandu Valley registered 38 new cases. 12,111 are in various quarantine centers across the country as of latest updates. According to the Health Ministry, 659 individuals have entered Nepal from India yesterday, while 506 have left for India. The ministry has urged all public to adopt preventive measures like wearing masks and gloves and has warned of fines if found not implementing the government's mandatory rule of wearing masks as a preventive measure. Moving on, an additional 18 police personnel at the police headquarters in the capital have tested positive for novel coronavirus. Spokesperson for the Nepal Police, Kuber Katayat, has confirmed the cases at the police headquarters. The new cases have taken the tally of COVID-19 cases at the police headquarters to 72. The first case at the police headquarters was reported on Monday when 4 police personnel had tested positive. The test for COVID-19 at the headquarters is now being carried out on the basis of contact tracing. All departments inside the headquarters are being disinfected following a surge in cases within the police headquarters. Meanwhile, 68 of the infected individuals have not shown any symptoms of the virus and have been kept at isolation. With this, the number of coronavirus cases in the police personnel across the country has climbed to 250. Meanwhile, with a surge in cases, Biratnagar metropolis has imposed a lockdown effective till 14th of August. The number of cases in a week's time in Biratnagar has surged from 41 to 108 as 67 cases were registered in Biratnagar in the last 5 days alone. The metropolis decided to impose a lockdown after 62 cases with no travel history were reported in Biratnagar. The District Coordination Committee in Nuwakot had banned mining in rivers 3 months back. However, such activities have been thriving in recent time. The illegal mining or extraction of sand has continued unabated in the Kantipur river that separates Nuwakot and Dhading despite the prohibitory orders during monsoon season. A miner was swept away by the Trishuli river last year while extracting soil from the river. Likewise, 2 people had died when they got stuck in a deep pit formed by sand mining in Kantipur river last year. A miner also drowned in Likhu river 4 months back. The locals have been demanding police and local administration to implement strict law that prohibits sand mining during monsoon season. Meanwhile, the District Administration Office Nuwakot has rejected allegations despite the ongoing illegal sand mining. Now, the World Health Organization has been at the forefront of the global battle against COVID-19, working round the clock in majority of countries, including Nepal. As of today, more than 674,000 people have lost their lives to the virus globally, while in Nepal, over 50 people have died due to COVID-19. While many countries have managed to contain the virus spread, the cases have been rising in recent time and the risk of spread is higher with the lifting of the nationwide lockdown. We had a conversation with WHO's country representative for Nepal, Dr. Jos Vandeleer, on Nepal's COVID-19 management. Here are the excerpts. How would you see or define the phase that Nepal is right now when it comes to coronavirus crisis?
Right now, Nepal is in an in-between situation, I think. We've seen many cases in the last couple of months that were by and large all from people who returned from abroad, particularly from India. And we have seen very few people who were infected in the communities. So right now the number of cases is going down because the number of people coming back to Nepal is going down. But it is to be expected that very soon the number of cases will start going up, and very likely those cases will be in the communities.
Are we prepared, or do we have adequate resources to handle a situation that for now seems like ominous?
In Nepal, I think we have been lucky. We have been lucky that the lockdown, which was called very early on after the second case, actually has kept things in check. Now, in that period, quite some work has happened. A lot of work has happened in terms of getting supplies in the country, in terms of trainings, in terms of getting the hospitals ready, on communication, on surveillance, on getting better data, and so on. So are we ready? I think a country is actually never really ready for a big thing like this. But I think a lot of things have happened in Nepal. A lot of things more can be done, for sure. But the time that was gained by the lockdown and till now, basically, has been well used to get better prepared.
The Health Ministry some time back issued guidelines on COVID-19, which it said included recommendations made by the WHO. There were some counterproductive guidelines points as well. For instance, keeping a person in quarantine for 2 weeks and then letting them go.
First of all, WHO advises the government. We don't make the decisions. The government makes the decisions. So what we bring to the table is basically what is the current knowledge, what is known globally about this disease, and also some comparisons, what are other countries doing. So some experiences. That's what we bring to the table. The final decision is actually the government's. To your specific point around quarantining, indeed, if you quarantine somebody for 2 weeks, the person can go home without a test. There's actually nothing wrong with that, provided the quarantine is done well and the person has not had a chance to infect other people or get infected by other people while in quarantine.
The government has yet to confirm community spread of coronavirus so far. What do you think of it?
I think, as we have said before also, at the moment, there is no widespread community transmission. We have seen a number of cases where there is not clear evidence of travel. And so these patients or these people have gotten the virus from where they live. So at that point, there has been some transmission in the community. But where that has happened, it has always been very localized or small clusters. That means small groups of people without spreading into its other communities.
The WHO has said that a vaccine this year might be unlikely. What does that mean for a country like ours?
It's hard to predict when exactly we're going to have a vaccine. There are a couple of vaccines already now in the final stages of testing. What we will need to see is how well do these vaccines work. And so to come back to your question, what can Nepal expect? Well, we certainly hope that when there is a vaccine available sometime next year, that a certain number of doses will be made available for Nepal for very, very vulnerable populations in particular. And also at a cost that Nepal can afford, so a subsidized cost. And again, as I said, the work is happening at global level on that.
Dr. Ventiler, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure.
Moving on, timely treatment against snake bites can easily save precious lives. However, snake bites in Nepal result in a number of deaths every year. Meanwhile, in the first of such instances, Nepal is all geared up to produce anti-snake venom in Sunsari's Bara region. We have more in this report.
Anti-snake venom research and manufacturing has started the legwork to produce the medicines to treat snake bites. Chief Minister of Province 1, Sherdhan Rai, inaugurated the facility, which is being constructed at an investment of just over 880 million rupees. The centre also aims to export the anti-snake venom abroad in near future. Nepal currently imports anti-snake serums from India. With a high demand for anti-snake venom, the centre is targeting to produce 1.5 million serums worth 1.5 billion rupees annually. To meet its target, the centre has started procuring 200 snakes and equal number of horses. The venom collected from the snakes is injected into the horses. A month later, the injected horses produce antibody to fight against snake bites. This follows the process of collecting the blood from the horses, which is further processed to make anti-snake venom. Nepal's Tarai region reports of large cases of snake bites which can be treated through anti-snake venom to save precious lives.
In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the local residents of Bhutan what might be the reason behind increasing floods, landslides and soil erosion in recent years. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
एक्सकेभेटर लगाएर सडक बनाउने नाममा बिना योजना बाटो खन्ने कामले बुझ्छे बढाएको हो। एस्टिमेट बिनाका विकास निर्माणका काम गर्दा बाढी पहिरो बुझाइ बढेको हो।
कुनै योजना बिना नै मेसिनको प्रयोगको अत्यधिक प्रयोगले भएको हो। भुक्षयको गर्नको लागि चाहिँ ठाउँ-ठाउँमा चाहिँ भुक्षय रोक्नको लागि वृक्षारोपणहरू गर्ने
प्राविधिक अध्ययन गरिनु भन्दा पनि नेताहरूको पहुँचमा कता-कता हुन्छ उतै बाटो लैजाइन र त्यसपछि पनि गरिने जुन तयारी हुन्छ बाढी त्यो सडकको छेउछाउमा रुख बिरुवाहरू रोपण गर्ने गहिरो जरा भएको बिरुवाहरू लगाउने त्यस्तो परिपाटीमा चाहिँ हाम्रोमा एकदमै कम हुँदाखेरि पनि त्यो बढेको हो जस्तो लाग्छ।
Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, what's your say on the government decision to collect consumer charges on every road? Your options are A, fleecing consumers, B, compulsion to increase revenue, and C, resources for road repair. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And with that, it's now time for our special segment, Media Watch.
The Supreme Court on Sunday decided to review the verdict that reduced the imprisonment sentence of former Deputy Inspector General of the Armed Police Force, Ranjan Koirala, in the infamous murder case of his wife, Geeta Dhakal. A bench consisting 3 justices of the Supreme Court, Bam Kumar Sreshta, Prakash Kumar Dhungana, and Kumar Regmi, permitted for the review on a petition filed by the Office of the Attorney General. A division bench of Chief Justice Cholendra Samsher Rana and Justice Tej Bahadur Kesi had reduced the jail term of former DIG Koirala from life imprisonment to just 8 years by waiving the remaining jail term in response to an appeal filed by the convict. Following the verdict from the Supreme Court on 29th of June, Koirala was released from jail on 23rd of July. The day after his release, the Office of the Attorney General had filed a review petition of the verdict at the Supreme Court. Koirala was convicted of killing his wife in January 2012. Following the murder, Koirala had disposed the dead body in a plastic bag and burnt the remains in a forest in Distung, Makwanpur. The Kathmandu District Court had slapped him with a life imprisonment sentence, and later, the Patan High Court had also upheld the verdict of the District Court. The District Court Kantipur on Thursday gave a clean chit to 8 police officials alleged of negligence and tampering with evidences in the infamous rape and murder case of 13-year-old Nirmala Panta. Nirmala was found raped and murdered in a sugarcane field near her home in Kantipur on 27th of July 2018 after she had gone missing the day before. Police officials, including the District Police Chief of Kantipur, found themselves dragged to the court as they were charged of negligence and tampering with evidences. They were also alleged of inflicting torture upon Dilip Singh Bishta, who was presented as the main culprit following 25 days of investigation. However, Bishta was later released from police custody as his DNA sample could not match the samples taken from the incident site. After almost 2 years of hearing in the case, the then District Police Chief of Kantipur, SP Diliraj Bishta, DSP Gyan Bahadur Sethi, Inspectors Ekindra Bahadur Khadga and Jagadish Prasad Bhatta have been relieved of all the allegations. Likewise, Sub-Inspectors Ram Singh Dhami and Har Singh Dhami and Constable Chandni Saud have also been acquitted by the court. Deputy Superintendent of Police at the Central Investigation Bureau, Angush GC, who was charged of torture, was also acquitted. This is Abhyuday Shrestha for Media Watch and Kantipur News Desk.
Those were our latest headlines. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead.